And we've been joined by Cincinnati coach Tommy Tuberville. The Bearcats are 8-3 overall, 6-1 in the American Athletic Conference. Cincinnati was in action this past Saturday at Temple. Cincinnati won the game 14-6. Up next for the Bearcats, Saturday against Houston at Paul Brown Stadium will be a noon Eastern Time start. The game will be televised on ESPN. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the game against Temple, maybe a word or two about Nick Temple, our Defensive Player of the Week this week, and then what you expect to see as you play for a piece of the championship Saturday against Houston, please.
Yeah, proud of our football team going on our second road game in 2 weeks, going to Temple in cold weather. Probably one of our better games. Well, the last two games have been very good games for our defense. We've tackled well. We hadn't played that well at times, but we've tackled pretty well, and we've made people punt quite a bit. Nick Temple, I think one of the better players I've coached in a while. He's a student of the game, understands football, understood his role last week and made a lot of tackles and a couple of sacks. So proud of him. He's one of the seniors that we have on the team that will be recognized this week on Senior Day. Offensively, we hadn't played that well in the last couple of weeks. We've been beat up a little bit. We've had several receivers that have been slowed by injury, but I think this will be our best week in terms of getting everybody back on the field close to 100% after being 12 games into a season. Look forward to playing against Houston. We got a lot to play for. Of course, they do too. Tony Levine is a good friend of mine. We worked together at Auburn, and we had some good times there, and so did David Gibbs, the defensive coordinator. He and I are good friends, and he worked with me as my D coordinator 1 year at Auburn. So got a lot of ties with Tony and David and some coaches on that staff. We had a very good game last year. It was a little wet down there, but it was a very competitive game with both teams. So being the last game of the year, I know both teams are looking forward to getting this one behind us, and both teams will be going to a bowl game, so it should be fun and should be a good environment at Paul Brown Stadium this Saturday at noon.
Take questions for Coach Tuberville, please. *1 on your telephone to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We'll take a question from Dan Tortora of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
Good morning.
Just talking with Tony about his experience with you and the time that he spent with you, what can you say about the man that you knew growing up back then in your career to the man that he's become today, just what you've been able to see from him as he's grown as a coach?
Yeah, and Tony was a young guy that came in and worked with me, and he worked with our tight ends, special teams. He, student of the game, one of those guys you knew would move up in the profession. He was single, actually met his wife there at Auburn. Now they have a nice family, and Tony's done well. He's positioned himself well as in his career. He went in pro ball, worked there for a while, and worked for some successful college coaches, Kevin Sumlin being the one most recent. And I think they've done a great job there. He's built the program back. They were down in recruits, and he's built it back. He's building it with speed and quickness, and he's got a good coaching staff. They do a good job. So proud of Tony and what he's done, and he'll be a star in this profession for many years as a head coach, and I'm sure he's anxious to try to get back at me after last year. We beat him down there. Should be a heck of a ball game. I think, obviously, two of the better teams in our conference playing each other.
When you look at the way that coaching kind of goes, where when you have someone under you, in the case with you and Tony, that you can teach them and help them to grow and help them to learn certain things, but at the end of the day, they could come back and be right on the other side of you. Did you ever think about that back then, kind of, I have this guy and I'm helping him to grow, I know he's going to be successful, and then you look across the field and he's trying to beat you in a game. Did you ever think that you were going to be in that type of situation with somebody like Tony or with anybody that's worked under you before?
Yeah, it's fun to see guys have success. I worked awfully hard when I was coming up and took the route of being a GA and a volunteer and working my way up in this business. And I've seen several guys do the same thing that have came under me. Not that they learned a whole lot. I'm sure they learned from other people, but Paul Rhodes being one that Paul coached with me at Auburn, and then I turned around and went against him while I was at Texas Tech. Now that he's at Iowa State, it's a little different going against friends. But, there's really no friends when you kick the ball off. But about 3.5 hours there, you go at each other and try to take advantage of strengths and weaknesses and coach a good football game. So, but I'm proud of all those guys. I've had several guys that work with me that's gone on to be head coaches, and I'm proud for all of them. It's a hard profession. It's a hard profession to work in. It's a hard profession to move up in. There's only, 120 Division I schools, and to become a head coach is a great accomplishment. So proud of all of them. And, Tony, as I said, has some success at Houston, will continue to have that. He does it the right way. He understands that you do it on both sides, and he gives his coaches leeway to coach. And again, it's difficult to play against and coach against guys that you're very good friends with. But, again, that's our profession, and the longer you stay in it, the more that'll happen.
And finally, when you talked about this being a hard profession to move up in and being a hard profession to work in overall, what are some of the biggest challenges that you feel like you've had? I mean, you've been to a lot of different places. You've seen a lot of different things. What's been the hardest thing as a coach for you to kind of handle? Because there always is that balance, not just of team, but of family and everything else that goes on.
Well, that's a big part of it. Obviously, you got to be a father at home as well as a father to 120 guys on your football team. You don't see your family much. You got a couple of months a year that you actually are an 8 to 5 worker, and that's not very often. My wife was asking me a couple of nights ago, when are we going to go out to eat together? Because we haven't had dinner together since August the 1st, and so it's kind of like a dream that you go through. You work every day, you work 14, 16, 18 hours a day, and it goes by fast, and you forget about there's another world out there. So as we all do, we look forward to the end of the season, and then you jump right into recruiting, and then bowl season, and then spring practice. There's always something, but it's a satisfying job for the fact that you see a lot of kids grow up and they become success. It's also you see kids that go the other way, and it makes you feel good about the ones that make it, because it's a hard profession, playing as well as coaching.
I appreciate it, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have any other questions for Coach Tuberville? Please star 1 on your telephone if so. Well, Coach, thank you for your time, not only for today, but also all year long. We wish you the best going forward.
Thank you.